Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and this is VMware Horizon View training, and this is sixth video in this training series. So in this video we are going to see how we can install View Composer server related to Horizon View. So basically View Composer server is going to have one-to-one mapping with your vCenter server, which is going to provide you instant cloning and cloning features and few other features. So basically you need one View Composer for each your vCenter, which is going to have one-to-one mapping. And the main important thing, you cannot install View Composer server on Horizon 7 connection server. And also this is a trusted certificate is strongly recommended for with like your communication between your vCenter server to the View Composer server, so the data traffic is going to be secure. The recommendation for View Composer server, if you're having more than 50 computers uh, or more, you require 8 gig of memory and 4 virtual CPUs. So let's see how we can, what is the lab setup and how we can do the Horizon View Composer server installation step by step. So this is my lab infrastructure in this video. So we are going to use 4 virtual machines in this demo. So the first machine is Win2K12 DC01, which is my Active Directory. So here is Active Directory server, Active Directory and DNS role is running on this machine, and you can see Win2K12 DC01. So this is domain controller, and the second server which we have is our Horizon connection server, which we are using since our second video which we have installed. So this is Win2K12 CS01, our connection server. So I'm going to launch administration console here on this machine, and we'll see. So I'm going to log in my view admin account, which is my service account. So in last video we have added our vCenter, ESXi data store, so everything looking good. And now we are going to map the View Composer server. So View Composer server is basically you can map from servers, and as I said, it's going to have one-to-one mapping with your vCenter server. So either you can like install the View Composer server on a vCenter server itself, or you can use the standalone View Composer server. So what we are going to do, we are going to install basically a standalone View Composer server, and we'll see how we can map that. So here is our lab infrastructure, and this is our View Composer server require SQL database, or might be that can be your MS SQL database or Oracle database. So in this video we are going to have one SQL server, which is Win2K12 SQL01. Here you can see. So Win2K12 SQL01, and this machine is joined in my domain, and I have logged in with my service account, which is SQL admin for this SQL server. So on this machine we are going to install SQL Server role, basically SQL Server Express 2012 Service Pack 4 Express, and Studio Management Studio also, which is 2012 Service Pack 4. So we are going to do this. And the last server which we have is our VMware View Composer server, which is going to be a standalone Composer server only, which is going to map with this vCenter and Horizon connection view. So let's verify this machine also. So this is our vCenter's View Composer server VC01, and this is joined in my domain, and I have logged in with the same account View admin, which is my service account. You can see Victor Infosol View admin. So this is service account. So let's do now a step-by-step task. So The first thing is step by step Horizon View Composer installation. So first thing we need to install our SQL Server Express and Management Studio. So I'm going to install this on my management server, SQL Server. So I have already downloaded SQL Server 2012 Series Pack 4 64-bit and Management Studio also. So I'm going to install first SQL Server Express. You can see Microsoft SQL 2012 Express Service Pack 2. So it's going to take some time to get the expand the files. So now you can see we can actually click on yes, and this is going to be your new SQL Server standalone installation. So click on it and it's going to launch the wizard. So I accept the license term, click next, and it's going to check for any update if update is available. Now you can see install setup file is in progress, so it's going to install a setup file in our local hard drive, so it's going to take some time. So now it's going to pop up the main screen. So we are going to install database engine main. So by default it's going to install 3 things, so I'm good with it. So click next. And then I'm going to use the default instance name, which is MS SQL Server. Click next. So leave the default, click next, and I'm going to add my other accounts here like view admin to give access on my SQL Server, and click on add, and then I'm going to add my what you call administrator also. So I have given these 3 account administrator access on this SQL Server, so this is good. Click next, and now you can see the installation is started. So this is going to take 2 or 3 minutes to get the installation done on this machine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the recording for now, and once this installation is done I will resume video and we will install this Management Studio together. So I'm going to pause the recording for now. So now database engine is installations completed, so we can go ahead and close this, and also we can close the SQL Server Installation Center. And now we can go here and we can find the configuration manager. So I'm going to send the on a desktop for SQL Server configuration manager, and we can see the instance, all instance is running and other details. So now it's time to install the Management Studio. So I'm going to run the installation setup for Management Studio. We are going to install a Management Studio, which is here install SQL Server Express and Management Studio. So click yes, I want to run this, and click on new SQL Server standalone installation and add feature to existing installation. So we are going to use add feature to existing because we are going to add this Management Studio feature to our SQL Server 2012 Express edition. So there was no update. Click next, and we can minimize this actually. And we are not going to perform a new installation, so add feature to existing. I'm going to select my MS SQL Server instance, then click next, and then we have a feature option. So I'm going to select this Management Studio management tools, so click next, So click next, and this is going to install. This installation is also going to take some time, so I'm going to pause the recording, and once the installation is done I will write back and then we will start from step 2. So going to pause the recording for now. So now installation is completed for management tools also, so we can go ahead and close this, and installation center also. And now I'm going to send the management studio shortcut to my desktop, and now I'm going to launch this. And the second task is enable SQL authentication for SQL Server if not enabled. So View Composer Server and Horizon View only support the SQL authentication, so we need to enable this. So I'm going to enable this right now and we'll see how to enable. So on the server name we need to right click and go to properties, and from here you can see all these things. So basically we need to go to security, and here you can see SQL Server and Windows authentication mode. So before it was set to Windows authentication mode only, so I'm going to set it to SQL Server and Windows authentication mode and click OK. So this is going to tell you that you need to make sure you need to restart the SQL Server. So I'm going to right click on server name and then restart. And yes, it's going to restart. Are you sure you want to restart MS SQL Server on this? Yes, I want to restart the service. So this is done. After this we need to create a new database for View Composer. So let's do this. On the database I'm going to right click, new database. I'm going to type here name View Composer, and then you need to make sure this is set to simple recovery mode, and rest is okay. We can click on OK button. So you can see now we have a database, View Composer database, and the next task is create a new SQL Server authentication account. So I'm going to create this. So under the security logins we need to create your new login, and you need to set to SQL Server Authentication and type the name. So I'm going to use the same name, View Composer, and I'm going to set the password here. And you need to make sure this enforced password policy is not applied, and the default database I'm going to set to View Composer, and then you need to make sure the user mapping is configured here to View Composer database, and you need to make DB owner to this user account, and rest is okay. You need to make sure this grant and login is enabled. So click OK, and now you can see the account has been created here. So this is good. And now what we have to do, the next task, we need to install SQL native client and configure ODBC on View Composer server. So I'm going to do this now. So from here I have already downloaded the View Composer setup and SQL native client, so I'm going to run the native client installation. So Microsoft SQL Server 2012 native client setup. I accept the license term, leave the default, and click on install. So the installation is completed, and you can verify from add or remove program. So the SQL Server native client is installed, so this is good, and we can go ahead and configure ODBC for View Composer. So I'm going to launch, click here ODBC and 64-bit, and then you can go here under the drivers. You can see this is installed, so we have just installed this, so this is good. Under the system DSN need to click add, and then we need to select this data source SQL native client and click finish, and then we need to type the name of the SQL what we are going to call this. I'm going to call this View Composer, description leave, and we need to type the SQL Server name. So I'm going to copy this full SQL Server name from here, just copy and paste here. We need to paste here and then click next. And then what you want to use, so I want to use here View Composer and password. So this is the same account which we have created in SQL Authentication here. So I'm using this account, then click next. And now you can change the default database. So now you can see the database is listed. So View Composer and click next. And after this we are good, and click on finish. So it's going to give you the all details which you have just gone through, and test the data source, make sure the test completed successfully. So this is good, and now we can click OK, and now we have a Composer SS system DSN is added. So this is good, and now we can move to next step, which is install View Composer server and restart the server. So I'm going to do this now. So we have a setup in download folder, so I'm going to run this. So welcome to the installation of View Composer server. So click next, accept the license term, click next, and the folder where it's going to install, leave the default, click next. And now we have a ODBC system setup, so you can see what we have. So I'm going to click here name of this ODBC connection, which is View Composer. So just type View Composer and enter the name of this ODBC user account and passwords. So I'm going to type here name is also same, so I'm going to type Composer, and then I'm going to type my password and click next. And this is going to be a port for SOAP ports, so we Composer port setting. So click next and install, and now you can see the installation is getting started, and it's going to take few seconds to get the installation done. So now you can see it's starting the services. So everything is looking good, and now we need to restart the server to get the services affected. So click yes. So we are done with this install View Composer server, and now we will verify the View Composer server and View Connection server, and we'll add it. So let's log in here. And if I go to services, you can see here View Horizon 7 Composer service is running. So this is good. We have done the installations successfully, and now go to connection server, and from the console I'm going to click on vCenter server and edit. So I need to log in back. So click here and then click on edit and View Composer settings. So I'm going to use the standalone. So the server name I'm going to copy from here, the full name of the server. I'm going to copy, paste it here, and the username and password. So I'm going to use the same ID and password. So view admin and verify information. So this is Win2K12 VC01, and accept this certificate, and we can add the domain if you wish to add. So I'm going to add domain name here, and you can also put the username and password. So I'm going to put my view admin here and click OK. So now it's time to click on OK, and we'll see once this is added. So now you can see this is successfully added, and we have a view composer server setting, and this is type standalone, and the server name, username and password, so everything is good. And now if you go to edit button, you can see this information. So we have added this vCenter server and a standalone view composer server which is mapped with this vCenter, so this is good. So this is how we can install the Horizon View Composer server, and step by step. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos, and if you have any query, any question related to this video, you can always post me in my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.